right back at you. Look back at it. Yeah, man. Feel me? I just came from Walmart. Didn't really buy nothing. It wasn't like I was rebelling or anything else. I could have bought the whole store if I wanted to. I lie. I could have bought most of the things that I needed if I wanted to. But I chose not to. Feel me? Because the people that worked there was acting too funny. Except for a select few. Feel me? Just a select few. Apart from that, I was just chilling. I'm like, I was just browsing through. I'm like, stop wasting your products. Pussy. Came out the corner with the aggression, knowing he ain't gonna do nothing. You just want to scare people. Some people just want to scare you. They just want to look tough and mean. It's new to them. You know what I mean? Anyway, man, as soon as I said I was leaving, all of a sudden I seen a black girl that worked at the place. They sent her over there just so I can feel comfortable and wanting to stay. And I'm like, I ain't no sucker, man. She nice to look at, but I'm not gonna stay out here all day just cause y'all niggas want me to just look around and look at her. That shit is stupid as hell, bro. You feel me? Sad people, man. I swear they're sad. They're sad beyond their means. They be thinking I'm that desperate that I always stay because I see one girl. And she was pretty, don't get it twisted, but it's like really just one. It's like I'm that desperate that it's the sight of another female in the store. Just one female, one black female. I guess they know what I like. You feel me? The sight of that one female would do all the job. Then they try to drug me and everything else like that. Try to hit you with the alcohol and all that. I felt it. I'm like, let me get out of here, man. These niggas is desperate. They trying to make a name for themselves. You feel me? It's always like that. But when I first came in there, the lady was like, a few ladies in there was pointing to their ears like, listen, before I let you go. That's a song that was playing. All I wanted to do was just browse around and look around. They want to do this, be fun. Trying to indicate to you that they want to let you go. So I got in the topic of, speaking. What is truth and what is not truth? You feel me? Because half of these niggas just make shit up as they go along. Our definitions are different. Like I was saying earlier, that's going to be the topic itself. And this is going to go up on the recording. I live my truth. Not of definition alone, but also spiritual. Sometimes it intuitively feels right when something is right. When it's truth, you don't need words to always describe or try to make sense of it. It feels right to do so. Of course, you think about all the pointers involved and everything else like that, but some people, they need to make sensibility out of what is truth and what is not truth. You feel me? They got to make some kind of sense out of it. They need a definition. You feel me? They need to reason with these things. They're like, well, what is real? Like, the question can keep going on for years. It's like, don't we all have an acceptance of what real and truth is on a micro level? If you was to take a look at the spectrum, it'll be on a low frequency. We have a very infant understanding of what these things are Because we need to have an infinite understanding, a basic understanding of what all these words are. Now we can go up on the spectrum and try to redefine it and look deeper into what the truth is. Hold on, let's go. Now we can look into the spectrum and try to see what the truth is and what is real and what is not real, what is a lie, what it be considered a lie, and all these simplify these things. I think simplification comes from the basic understanding of things. You feel me? So some of us, we understand things spiritually. You feel me? And what is spiritually to you? It's just having the intuition. Can I even describe what an intuition is? Like it's a feeling within. You feel me? So certain things is not meant to be described all the way to its final core. Because when you start doing that, that means you are being a difficult person and wanting to get a generation, not even to generate a start of a conversation. Because look, man, if we're gonna have a conversation, we need to have a start of point. We need to have an understanding of where we starting from. Now we can start from our indifferences. We can start from you love good and I love bad. So we argue from that point of stake, and we try to reason with each other and be like, okay, this is the reason why I like bad, because bad feels good. And you keep going. You feel me? But if we don't have that basic common understanding of what a definition of a word is, then we can go around in circles and be like, hey, and I can say spiritual. They'd be like, well, what is your definition of spiritual? And I can say, well, reality sets in, and they'd be like, what is your definition of reality? And we're going to keep going around in circles because one person refuse, or both can play that game, or both will refuse to even come to understanding of what we speaking of. You feel me? It's like, it doesn't even make sense sometimes. You be like, yo, why this person keep asking me what's the definition? What do you mean by the definition of this? And what do you mean by that means that you refuse to understand it. And I know the person is not stupid. It's just you asking for too many definition of things instead of just understanding in the basic form of things. Understanding in plain sentence, plain like basic or infant level. Understand it in that sense. Or you can say, do you mean truth as in da-da-da? You give your explanation. If it goes along with what I think and what I believe, then I'll be like, yes. You feel me? And that's how we move on. But if a person keep asking you, what do you mean by the definition of this? And what is this and what is that? That complicate things. I just feel like before we can even have a conversation, we need to have an understanding of each other's grammar, I guess, and vocabulary. Because it's going to be very hard for me to have a conversation with Jordan Peterson. I ain't going to lie to you. Because it is obvious a person like that, grammar and vocabulary and his educated opinion is too high. Sometimes he be saying certain words and I be like, what the fuck? What does he mean this? And then I want to speak in plain terms. You feel me? So although we understand each other, and although I understand what he's saying, and I understand the whole conversation, I don't want to hear those big words sometimes. They complicate things. I want him to simplify that shit. Feel me? Simplify that motherfucker. You feel me? But I love his mind. I think the way he thinks it challenges me. Because sometimes I get to see myself in how he thinks. Then I start looking at him weird. I'm like, this nigga is different. Because it's like, yes, sometimes I do look at a word from my point of view. Of course I do. But I can be biased too. I can be biased in the way I look at the world without even looking at it from other people's point of view. Because sometimes I can base my core and my truth on something that I think is absolutely the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And let's just say I base my reasoning and my way of thinking on religion itself. Because I believe that you should treat others as you want to be treated. And this is just my point of truth, and this is where most of my ideas most of my ideas comes from. You feel me? Because usually when you peel out the onion, you come to the understanding that all of us have a belief, and that belief is where most of our ideas come from. It's what is the core of it all. How about if you meet somebody who believes that I have to do to you before you do to me, because the world is a wicked place. And when you peel the onions and everything else like that, you get to see that these people this is where most of their ideas come from. And a person like me would judge somebody like that and tell that person is paranoia. And a person like that would judge me and tell me that I am naive. Who's to say who's right and who's wrong? You understand where I'm coming from? You feel me? So this is how he had me thinking sometimes, because sometimes I think my way is the best way, and sometimes it's reasonable to think like that, but it doesn't necessarily make it truth. You feel me? What makes my truth the truth, and what makes his truth a lie? If he feels like, yo, I gotta get you before you get me, although I haven't done nothing to him, he's not willing to wait to see what I'm going to do for him to get me. You understand? In my world, I'd be like, this nigga is paranoid. He's insecure. Why would you da-da-da? Like, but in his world, he's like, well, you are naive for thinking that I'm not gonna do this to you, because you could do it to me, you just don't know yet. So it's like, what makes us? So it's like, I think of the world from my point of view, thinking my point of view is truth. But what makes my point of view truth compared to he or she or their point of view? So he has me thinking sometimes, and I'm like, okay, how can I wrestle with this form of idea? You feel me? What more education? Let it go. How much more education do I need to have? Because I could believe in Jesus Christ, and I'd be like, yo, Jesus is the ultimate definition of what a man is supposed to be. You feel me? And this is my belief, and this is my call, which it is. And somebody else can believe that, no, I don't think so. They can think that Donald Trump is what a man is supposed to be, and we can argue for argument's sake. But what will make him right, and what will make me right, and what will make him wrong? You feel me? It's the way we think is not the final answer to everything else. And that's where this is where we come crashing at, because I think that the way I think is the ultimate truth, and if somebody's not thinking like me, I can see how he see it like that way. And it had me questioning myself too, like, okay, cool. Maybe he is right. Maybe God is not the answer to all things. Maybe Jesus is not the ultimate man truth and everything. And how about an atheist who don't believe in these things? How do you argue with such people? You have to consider all these things into your reality. Like, how about somebody don't believe in Jesus, and you keep talking about, well, let me refer back to the Bible. You're like, I don't care about the Bible. You referring back to a book I do not believe in. Then it's like, where does the starting point? Where do we start the conversation at when your core belief is not believed by those people that you're trying to convince, or you trying to argue with, or you trying to get your point across? I can't even sit at the table. You feel me? And if we come down to values and beliefs and everything else like that, where do we get that from? But I'm like, okay, cool. And this is, when I'm hearing him talk, these are the things that is coming. I'm not saying this is what he was saying. This is what I was speaking to myself by hearing him, because I always do that. Sometimes I hear something and I'm speaking to myself. I put myself in a stage where somebody can question my own ideas too. And I'm like, how about if somebody is thinking like that? You're like, whoa, what makes you think your ideas are right? And then I started thinking about society itself, the collective group, something that we all live in. Now, we all don't agree with the things that go on in society, but what keeps us disciplined in the society that we live in? Now, this is not about you believing in God, or you or you are atheist. It has nothing to do with that. You feel me? Think about it. Here we are, different religions, atheism, you name it, different culture, but yet we all live in the same society, which meaning that we all believe in something that keeps us here and makes us act as possibly disciplined as possible. We kind of living in peace. Look at me, I'm walking outside talking shit and nobody did nothing to me. You feel me? Something can happen, but I'm just saying, I done made it this far. You feel me? We talk about today, you feel me? But it's like there's something that all people from different form of life have come to the agreement to live in this peaceful place. Because the whole world is here. I'm talking about the United States of America. So what is it that is keeping us in agreement, even though we disagree? You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't have to make an argument or try to come up with a point when most of the work, like he said, the trailblazers has already been blazed and we are living in it. You feel me? So what is it about the society that we live in that makes us in agreement to live together? And there goes your answer itself. You feel me? It doesn't matter who is black and who is white and who's a Muslim and who's atheist, or who, if I believe in good and you believe in bad or anything else like that. We are all living in a society where our differences is clear, but yet we still live in it. And we still trying to reason with each other, but yet we still in agreement. You feel me? What is it that keeps us bound together? That keeps us on a straight path, even though some of us think we're taking a narrow path. You feel me? Some of us, is it a straight path, like a straight hair, or is it something like this? Is it a straight line, or is it no U-turns, like a sound like this, where you rebelling but yet you in a straight path? You feel me? The sign said don't drive that way, but you decided to do it anyway because you just want to rebel. You didn't hurt nobody in the process, but you just felt like, well, you feel me? That there are road signs that said turn left. Only turn left, you feel me? And you decide to turn right. But yet you still in a straight path system. But you rebel here and there because you don't want to feel like you too good or whatever you want to feel. I guess you didn't feel good on that day, but yet you still on a straight path. There's something about this world that's keeping us on a straight path, and it didn't get here by itself. It was a trailblaze of men. Whoo! These birds is different. They must be very aggressive about their surroundings, so let me move. There's something that's let it pass. Bitch. Hey, bitches. Where you at? Oh, he's on the other side. All right. There's something about this world. There's something about this society. There's something about this country in particular that keeps us all. Like I'm African. I grew up in Africa for the first 17 years of my life, and I came here. There's people who came here when they was 21. There's people who came here when they was older. But yet there's something that keeps us very bound together, where there's not chaos all around us. Is it law and order? It is the law. Is it? I don't know. What is it? Is it wealth? What is it? Is it systematic? Is it white people? I don't know. Is it black people? What is it? Is it culture? What is it that keeps us bound together? Because the argument was whether truth and lie and everything else like that. But I'm like, most of these things are in existence already and they live together. You feel me? Do we have the blend of both of them? Can you be all the way too good and you be lying to yourself? This is why I put it on a video. You see, these niggas is different. They trying to take away the truth, but it's so good though. This is why I put out the video of the Peter and the Judas lie. Because I realized that we do tell lies. Like we do. Like we lie, my nigga. You feel me? Are you gonna be Judas? Are you gonna be Judas and tell a lie on somebody just for no apparent reason? Just so that person can be crucified? Or are you gonna be a Peter and tell a lie to save yourself from dying? Because that's what Peter was in a complicated situation where he had to tell a lie and tell the people that I don't know Jesus. It's like, I don't know him. Ain't you one of the disciples that walk with Jesus? No, I don't. Just to save his own head. So what kind of lie are you telling? You feel me? These are complicated things that we live with that blend us together. You feel me? This is it right here, my nigga. You feel me? So you can't be all too good or you can't be all too bad. You can't hate me because you think that I'm this and I'm that. But yeah, you never check yourself to see what about you that somebody else can pick up and hate. There's a lot that I can hate on you about. There's a lot. We can hate white people for years to come. We can hate black people for years to come when we find a reason and focus on it, of course. If I look at you long enough, I'm going to find something about you that I hate. And you could be a preacher. Like, it's something like you find that reason. Why? Because you will find it, because it's who we are. You will find that reason. If you're looking for flaws in somebody, you will find. They even found a reason in Jesus to crucify him, to put him on trial. They telling you, this nigga following me. He's just trying to make noise because, he trying to take away from the message. If you're looking for a reason in anybody, you will find that reason to hate that person. It's not that hard. Like, it really ain't. It's like it's easy to do so. So people just, it's like looking for a reason to take away from me or looking for a reason. Like, I'm like, that shit is easy to do, man. Why don't you challenge yourself? Let it pass. Let it pass. Why don't you challenge yourself to look at yourself for once? Look at yourself and see what you can change about yourself first. See the things that you can accept about yourself. I know they want you to smoke cigarette because everything else has not worked. This bitch is running and stuff. All right, let me get out of this place. It's a lot of Mexicans chasing me. Niggas play loud music and shit. You feel me? You feel me? I'm just saying. Like, people act so perfectly fine. So Jordan Peterson do challenge my notion of seeing things from different point of view. Not thinking that your idea is always the conclude answer. You feel me? Not thinking I'm the right one and the church cannot think that they're the right one. You feel me? We all can't be like, this is the right way of living. We got to see it from different point of view because we live in a society where we all have so many differences, and yet we live here. We live here peacefully, my nigga. Contrary to the crime that's going on, it's bound to happen, but the overall picture is very peaceful. Most of the chaos is going on in people's head. I swear, most of these niggas, they think they're getting attacked. We are being discriminated upon. And I'm like, nah, somebody that look like you got discriminated upon. Nothing happened to you. But we take on the trauma of other people's pain that look just like us. You feel me? Like, this is the self again talking. The self is always a combination of things. So we would take on the trauma of other people that look just like us and try to feed off that trauma. And be like, this is what happened to us. I'm like, that shit ain't happened to you. Shut up. That shit happened to the lady that looked like you and you didn't never give a fuck about that lady in the first place. But since you could use that as an example for yourself, you decided to use that person's trauma for your own personal gain. This is what civil rights did for a lot of groups. You feel me? When African Americans fought for civil rights, other people from other countries started coming here and thinking that they can get the same trauma benefits. Everybody started playing victim. Even homosexuals started playing victims. Immigrants is playing victims. Handicaps is playing victim. Everybody playing victim because they feel like they can get a law passed in their honor. Everybody playing motherfucking victim now. That shit sells. You have all these people that's got mental issues now, quitting on niggas. And that shit is selling. They got commercial for people who quit. Like, it's okay to walk and go home. I'm like, God damn, my nigga, this shit is selling. You feel me? But what makes you think that your point of view is right? You feel me? We need to have point of views. What I'm trying to paint a picture to tell you is that you can have different point of view and still live in a community or live in a world where you are available to exist. You feel me? Look at me. I'm black. I see white people passing by. I see Mexicans. And that's all it is here. This is white and Mexican and a little bit of Chinese and Indian. That's all. But look, it's so many different people. I see Tesla. I see Volkswagen. It's so many things that are so different but yet existing at the same time. You feel me? You don't have to change somebody else. You don't. You can still live with that person because it's already happening. Who are you to think that you can do otherwise? You need to figure out what is keeping us in bound and do more of that. Instead of trying to separate people and try to change. They always trying to change me, you feel me? They always trying to change me, man. They always trying to make me into something I'm not. I'm like, I am not that person. You feel me? It's okay to define myself. Why is it that you are so insecure that you don't get to see these things for yourself? Look at the world that we live in. Ukraine and Russia is having their differences right now. You feel me? But you also have other countries that have a difference about what is going on too and are willing to help. People are sending donations. People are sending things. The overall picture is great, although it's bad in one area. I could be going through something terrible, but the overall picture is good. You feel me? And if you could do something, you help somebody out, and that's that. But we're not going to stop the world because one person is going through something and we all want to fix. You see, the Ukraine, and it's like a lot of people want to trauma bond with that shit going on. There is war going on. Look at what they're doing to the Ukraine. Nigga, you're not even Ukraine. You're not Ukrainian. Like, you're not. It's good to care about things that you're not, but it's like you're not that person. You feel me? It is good, but this shit is crazy, man. But it's a lot more that keeps us together than keeps us apart. We are a lot more alike than we are apart. You feel me? Hold on, let me check my time. I'm about to be out. Yeah, we are a lot more alike than we are apart. You feel me? We just are. And there's something about this world that keeps us together, although we are different. You feel me? I see some fine bitches with fat ass and some ugly niggas, but they together. You feel me? Big difference, but they still together. There's something that's bounding us together. And if you don't believe in God, then it's like, how is that happening? Because all we humans do is show off our differences. It's like, I'm better than yours. Look at me. Look at my white skin. Look at my black skin. Look at what I've created. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. But what is holding that chair and that table together? What is it that is keeping us bound? Of course, they're going to describe it as gravity. Yeah, but what also gives gravity that notion? There's something that's holding us together. What is it? Is it a God? Is it a God particle? Because we are so different, but yet we are very similar. That is the true conversation that we need to have. How can something be so complicated, but yet look so complete? How can the world look so old and yet look so new and yet look so refreshing? Look at nature. Look at the mountains. Them shit's been there for thousands of years. They look new, but yet are so old. These are the conversations. This is where we need to start from. We don't need to be looking at the differences, and we don't need to be saying, why is this person atheist? Let it pass. By the way, shout out to the moon. Shout out to the moon. But we do not need to be looking at our differences. What makes this nigga a Mexican with a mustache? And what makes this person black? And what makes this person white? No, nigga. It's irrelevant what makes them that. We supposed to be different. We supposed to be. I'm supposed to look this good. And you supposed to look that ugly. But what brings us together? What makes us act civilized and act respectful towards each other even when we don't want to? What is it? What is that bound? What is that God bounding? What is that God particle? What is it? You feel me? That's the real question. Anyway, I gotta go. You feel me? I'm gonna go chill inside, sit down for a little bit. I didn't get my 2 hours of sleep. As you can see, the devil kept me up all night. It's all good. It is what it is. I was dreaming about a bitch anyway. They was mad at me, so they had to wake me up. They see the size. But anyway, I gotta go. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. You feel me?